So now you talk about that adversity. You talk about that I guess you could say dark spot in your first year of collegiate basketball.
Yeah.
But your second year, you more than doubled your playing time. You're getting 9 a game, 3 boards, an assist and a half, and a steal per game, and you're 53% from the field. How does a guy go from ending the year with DMPs to doubling his minutes per game average and putting out those averages that I just mentioned?
Yeah, I think I was just that off season. I was really, you know, I worked hard, but I really worked smart. I think, and I was like, all right, as soon as I step foot on campus, like, I'm about to prove to them that I'm not like. I kind of felt myself that year, kind of getting like put in a boxer under like a certain label, and I didn't like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna prove to my coaches, prove to my teammates that like I can be effective and not, you know, kind of fall off into the outskirts of the team. So I think as soon as we started open gym, as soon as we started preseason practices, I was just like, I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to really build their trust. And then as I start building their trust, then I can start implementing things in my own game that I knew I was good at.
What were the things you felt like you had to do to earn their trust?
I think a lot of it was just like decision making, I think. And we played so fast. A lot of things I struggled with my first couple years at Cornell was just making good decisions while moving at such a high speed. So like I turned over the ball a lot. Like I you know, my assist turnover ratio wasn't great in prior years. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be super efficient when I'm with the ball in terms of taking care of it and shooting it, and then also just doing things within the offense that coach likes. Like he was very high on off ball movement and cutting.
Oh yes sir, Zay.
And that was something that I was like, all right, I can do this. Like I'm a good finisher, but if this is how I'm gonna get to the basket, you know, I'm just gonna really zero in. And I knew coach liked that. So like, all right, if I in my head I'm like, if I can just prove to him that I can be effective at cutting, I can be effective in the, you know, and efficient, then I can slowly gain the trust and start, you know, doing the things that I felt like that I had been working on my whole life and gaining that confidence. So as soon as I got to campus that year, I really just locked in the things that I knew they valued to prove that I could do it. And then, you know, I start gaining a little bit more confidence and more freedom. And, you know, like you said, I scored a lot more. I started every game that year, and we had a good year too. So
Now you know, we've been to multiple of your college games, highlighted you, etc. And that cutting thing that you emphasize, that you say that your coach emphasized, we got a shit ton of highlights of you doing that.
yeah.
When did it click for you that, yo, I could get 4 or 5 a game just cutting?
I remember there was like there was this some Twitter page my sophomore year, the year I wasn't really playing that much, and our leading scorer that year, him and our big man connected on so many backdoor cuts, and they like counted them all and put it all in a montage, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, like as much as like you can kind of like, maybe I never really, but like some guys resent off ball movement or don't value it, like these dudes are getting easy buckets, like high efficient buckets, so like it works. So I'm like, all right, like if this is what he values and this works, like it's proven that it works, like I can do this too. I'm like, and that off ball movement always kind of made sense. Like I feel like I was always kind of, it was always something I was good at. I wouldn't know it was a big part of my game, but it was something that I was always kind of able to understand. So I'm like, you know, if coach really values that, I'm just gonna be the best. This next year, I'm gonna try and be the best like off ball mover, off ball cutter on the team. Because that's like, all right, like, you know, if you want to average 9, 10, 11 points a game, if you can get 4 or 5 points a game off just like easy lays because you're making a good cut, you know, then that takes, then
Makes it that much more easier.
Throws, you hit a 3 or you get a transition bucket, like now you're looking at those you know, scoring a lot. So I think that's why I had to really buy into that, and then it became kind of part of my identity, honestly.
How did that year go for you guys?
That junior year?
Yeah, that junior year where you're getting that burn and it's clicking for you.
That was 2022, 2023. We started off the year really good. We had a really good squad. We were picking up from where we were last year. We were like destroying non-conference, breaking all these school records. And I think we had a really good flow. Like we were one of the fastest teams in Division One. We were getting we were one of the highest percentage from 2-point and 3-point. Our offense was clicking. Our
Yes.
defense wasn't great, but I think at the time we were able to really outscore teams, and it helped us. I think once we got to Ivy play, that's when a lot of like the experience and the some things that we kind of in areas that we lacked kind of started to hurt us a little bit, and we didn't do as well. We ended up finishing fourth in the Ivy, which was still good, but we certainly had some setbacks that ended up kind of plaguing us in the end of the year, and then ultimately, not allowing us to advance where we wanted to
in the conference
tournament. But overall, it was still a leg up from the year before. And we had, like I said, we had a massive junior class that year. So we knew that coming back, that our senior year was our year to really try and, do what we wanted to in terms of a winning standpoint. So it was certainly, we came short, but it was a step up from the year before. And I think, we were super excited for that next year.
For sure. Take us through that next year. Now you bump up your production a bit. You're at 9.5 a game. You're at 4 rebounds a game, 3 assists per game, 1.5 steals a game, 60% from the field this season. What clicked to have you up your production, and what kind of year was that like for you and your squad?
Yeah, that was a fun year. I think, we kind of were all really bought in, like not just our class, but the underclassmen too, that we had a really good squad and had a lot of potential. So we started off the same way. We started destroying the non-conference. Like we had a little bit of a better schedule too. We're beating teams. I remember you guys were at that Fordham game, and that was a really fun one. And I think we just, now what we always had the skill and the kind of scheme to propel us to wins, but now we are finally gaining some of that really valuable experience. Like we had 6 or 7 dudes that had played and started in however many games.
Right.
Our underclassmen were experienced, and that's so valuable in college. And we also had all been playing together for however many years, so we had a really good cohesion in our team. And we destroyed non-conference. We lost to the some of the bye games, but they were close. But now we're like, all right, we get in the Ivy play. We can't let what happened in the past 2 years happen again, where we did really well non-conference and then kind of folded. But this time we started out, I think 7-0, 6-0 in the Ivies. We were basically at a number 1 battle the entire year between us, Princeton, and Yale. And those were 2 really good Yale and Princeton teams that year. So every game was a battle, and it was a lot of fun. We played so many guys, any guy's night could. Our scoring was so balanced. I think I only averaged 9.5 points, but I was the second or third leading scorer. Our leading scorer might average 12 points a game. So it was super balanced approach. And that's hard to do because everyone wants to be the man, but we had so much respect for each other and so much because we had been together for so long. We just wanted to win, and that's so unique. That feeling is fun. To really just want to win and really not care about, truly not care about who scores, and that's really unique on teams at any level.
How far did you guys end up making it in the conference tournament that year?
We lost to Yale in the semis. Unfortunately, we had a very uncharacteristically bad game that game, which was kind of a bittersweet ending to that season because we had really accomplished a lot of records. Our most winningest season in Cornell history, besides when they went to the NCAA Sweet 16. But and we'd broken all these records, so it was definitely sour ending. But we had accomplished a lot, and then even though we had lost in the semis, we got an NIT bid for the first time in school's history, and that was awesome too. We got to play Ohio State at Ohio State. Had a really good game that game. That was one of my best college games ever. And it was just it was a lot of fun that year. Even though I thought we had, a championship caliber team. So it's unfortunate that we didn't make it that far. But certainly a lot to look back at it, especially now, being a year or two removed. It's is like, you know, I'm proud of us, especially knowing like what Cornell was like when we first came into it too. Like we were projected, like always projected to be like the 6th or 7th team in the league, like, and for us to then, you know, have came all that way. Obviously, it would have been nice to end with some hardware, but
Yeah.
knowing us, like from an insider's perspective, like that's something I can always be proud about.
No, it definitely built that thing up. Like you said, you mentioned that class. You said what was it, 6 deep?
Yeah, it
Your
was
class.
six. It,
Y'all definitely helped change the tide of the perception of Cornell
yeah,
basketball and whatnot. Because there's there's like a top half of the Ivy and there's a bottom half of the Ivy, and for so long Cornell's right there with Brown,
yeah,
yeah, bottom half. But now you guys are in the top half,
for sure.
and your class definitely helped change that, man.
Yeah.